Good evening, everyone. Heavy rainfall will continue for parts of the Sunshine Coast for at least the next few hours. That heavy rainfall is likely to contract south and east overnight tonight, so we should be mostly clear tomorrow, but we still have a lot of rain on the way. Damaging winds are still a possibility. At around 4:30 this afternoon, Double Island Point recorded a wind gust of over 120 kilometres per hour, so certainly enough to cause some damage. We still have numerous warnings in place for the Sunshine Coast. The rainfall you can see here on the graphic will be falling before tomorrow, and then after that we're looking at mostly fine skies apart from a few coastal showers. We'll have more details on what we have in store in just a moment. Let's move on to our rainfall totals. At 9 o'clock this morning, 43 millimetres fell around Noosa, 180 for Landsborough, 185 millimetres for Woodford, 108 around Tewantin. Maroochydore picked up almost 60, Yamundi 66 millimetres, Maleny 145, another 90 since 9 o'clock this morning to around 5 o'clock this afternoon, and Beerburrum over 150 millimetres. So some massive rainfall totals there. With more on the way, we are likely to see further river flooding across the region, as well as flash flooding, and damaging winds still quite a concern as well. We've also got abnormally high tides forecast. A warning is in place, and large seas. That region of low pressure, ex-Tropical Cyclone Debbie, about 5 o'clock this afternoon was sitting around 100 k's inland of Kingaroy. So still around the southeastern corner, is going to push further towards the southeast coast this evening, and then eventually offshore, where it is forecast to possibly re-intensify, not into a tropical cyclone but an intense low. And that will help to generate very windy conditions for coastal areas and large seas. So a good idea to keep clear of the coastline for the next couple of days, just so we have a bit of an opportunity for the water to clear out. Of course, a lot of runoff through the river systems as well, so the water will be very dirty, but it's also looking still very windy tomorrow. A gale wind warning is still in place for the Sunshine Coast for tomorrow as well as this evening. So you can see that low pushing offshore behind that system. Mostly clear skies tomorrow. Then we'll see this region of high pressure push in across the Bight. That's going to be the main weather feature into the weekend and most of next week. It will be generating a few showers near the coastline, but nothing like we've been seeing today. So tomorrow, partly cloudy skies for the coast, westerly winds up to 30 kilometres an hour. A windy day. It will be fine and dry though, so allowing everything a bit of time to dry out. And finally, we can put that washing on the line. Southwesterly winds up to 45 knots tomorrow. That gale wind warning has been reissued for the coastline. Seas up to 4.5 metres. High tide tomorrow for the region just after 10 o'clock. Low tide is between 4 and 4:30, and a sun is setting on the coast tomorrow at 5:47. So generally fine tomorrow and for the weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a few showers though into Saturday and Sunday for parts of the coast. They will continue into next week as well. Stay safe, everyone. So back to you.
Thanks, Hannah. Before we go, here's a quick recap of our top stories. 4 children and their mother have been rescued from rising floodwaters after becoming stuck in their home at Tanawa. The heavy rainfall flooded dozens of roads across our region. Hundreds of businesses closed and schools will remain shut tomorrow. And Gympie Regional Council's Disaster Management Group is on alert for potential flooding from the Mary River. Some businesses along Mary Street evacuated today. WIN's local and national news continues with the project next. If you have a story you'd like us to follow up, we're on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for making WIN News your local news. See you tomorrow night at 6. I'm Sophie Ryan. Good night.
This has been a WIN News presentation. WIN News, Regional Australia's #1 news source.